Yeah, prices for tickets have been going up and up and up over the last several years, and fans are increasingly having to make choices about how they're spending the money that they have set aside or that they have saved for concerts, for festivals, for plays and musicals, and for sporting events. So sometimes this means making choices between several different categories. If you like to go watch sports and you also like to go watch music, then you might not be able to do as much of either. And it also means that many fans are actually saving all of their money for big expenses, such as going to a major music festival in the United States or Canada, or even traveling across the Atlantic Ocean to go to a festival or an event in Europe or the UK.
Professor Mall unpacked how resale markets and ticket scalping is contributing to these soaring prices.
Resale markets and ticket scalping have long been a major concern for fans who pay attention to these issues. Ticket scalping, I'm sure you know, has been around for generations, but it has really accelerated over the last many years because scalpers and resellers that do this professionally, they use programs, and they're called bots, that go into the automated ticket selling systems, and they can purchase far more tickets than an individual can far faster because they're using these computer programs. So that means that there's a smaller pool of tickets available to the average fan, and it's much harder for us to get tickets to events when there's a huge demand or when the hype is really high. Resale markets such as StubHub and uh, Resale markets are also a big deal, in part because Ticketmaster, which controls a huge portion of ticket sales in the United States and Canada and elsewhere, Ticketmaster actually has platformed resale within its app. So if you purchase tickets through Ticketmaster, sometimes you may notice, even if the event is sold out, they're sending you to their in-house resale marketplace to buy tickets from other fans or from other ticket scalpers.
We also discussed if there are ways leagues, venues, or artists can make tickets more affordable without losing revenue.
One of the biggest challenges that the average fan faces is really understanding the different components of the price of tickets, because we see the face value, we see the taxes, which vary depending on where you live, we see the fees added. Sometimes we see the fees added by Ticketmaster or whatever ticketing company you're using. Ticketmaster controls some of those fees, but leagues, venues, and artists control some of those other fees. So they can actually tell Ticketmaster or tell their other ticketing platform to reduce the fees for certain events or across the board. Doing so will often make those tickets more affordable to ticket purchasers and to fans, and the loss of revenue for those venues or for those leagues or teams or artists is minimal. Another way to do it is simply to make it more transparent. So, there are laws that prevent Ticketmaster and other ticketing agencies from hiding those fees, but you often don't see them until you get to the checkout page. Instead of having fees that are really not all that transparent until you're checking out, one idea is simply to have just a slightly higher face value. If it's only a couple dollars more, most fans won't get upset about it. But if it's an additional fee that pops up at the end of the purchasing process, then that's something that can often catch people off guard.
Professor Mall discussed what these trends say about the commercialization of entertainment.
One of the things these trends say is that people want to go out. They want to have fun. They want to spend time with their loved ones, with their friends, with their family. They want to go see their favorite team, see their favorite artist. They want to try something new, maybe a musical that they heard of, they haven't had a chance to see yet, that is finally touring and coming to their city. So the high fees indicate there's a large demand for entertainment, and I think that's a good thing. But the commercialization of entertainment also, that's not necessarily a bad thing. There are lots of people that work on these productions. There are lots of people that work for our favorite teams. There are lots of people that work at these very big venues as well as the very small venues. I believe that everyone who works at these venues and who works for these teams and who works for these artists deserve a living wage. So the challenge really is how to make sure that the teams, the artists, the venues get as much money as they need to pay people what they're worth, and also not make it so difficult for your average fan or concert goer or ticket purchaser to afford. And I think part of the challenge, like I said earlier, lies in simply making sure that all the different fees are transparent and that people understand what they're paying for.